So, did everybody have an exciting weekend?
Oh yes, this past Saturday.
I asked you if you had a good weekend, but what I didn't ask you for is an answer. Now that we've dealt with that little interruption, let's begin to talk about what classical conditioning is. Classical conditioning is a way to acquire desired behavior. In an experiment, Ivan Pavlov got his dog to salivate at the sound of the bell. Now, would you like to redeem yourself and tell us how he did that?
Come on, Pavlov's dog. Pavlov's dog. You should know this. You should know this.
Who is this professor picking on me after Leave It to Beaver here challenged his authority? Okay, well, two can play at this game.
Sometimes I'm in pieces, think I'm doing fine. Slow curves up ahead bring me down as I do this grind. Got past behind me, not let rain take its toll. It's all for the best, he tells me as I get a new goal. But these are lessons of life, lessons of life, lessons of life, oh, the lessons of life.
I don't know, what made him salivate? Did he have the hots for his lover?
My God, you can't take anything seriously, can you?
No, Mr. Green. Alex, do you want to explain to this rambunctious lad why the dog salivated?
Pavlov's dog was conditioned to salivate at the sound of a bell because he anticipated the reward of a steak. Through classical conditioning, Pavlov was able to train his dog's behavior because of the incentive of a reward.
That's right, Alex. We'll look at classical conditioning here in this classroom. Remember, Pavlov wants his dog to behave a certain way by providing him a reward incentive. He rings the bell and puts a steak on the floor, conditioning the dog's response of salivation. Now, classical conditioning can also train us to anticipate punishment if a desired behavior is not reached. So, Mr. Green, suppose I ask the same question, but I threaten to give everybody a test on Thursday if you're wrong.
What? Are you kidding?
Oh, that would be a real incentive. You're joking, right?
Don't joke, young man. I ask questions and I expect answers.
Come on, Pavlov's dog. Pavlov's dog. You should know this. You should know this.
Man, Chris, relax. I'll walk you through this question real easy. Now, Pavlov is a psychologist who realized he can get his dog to perform a certain behavior the dog expected a reward.
Hey! He's breaking Clarksdale's ethical code. He's getting his answers from David.
I was just explaining the concept to David here so he could pass it over to this dork over here.
Hey, what did you say?
You see? He's completely confused.
Would you stop worrying so much?
I can't take that test yet. I don't even know the dog's name.
Would you stop being such a nuisance? Hey, what was that dog's name?
Nonsense.
So, what's next, David? What's next? So, the dog started to salivate when he heard the bell because he knew the steak was coming.
Well, How did Pavlov's experiment work?
Ivan Pavlov, or Ivy, because we know each other so well, realized that he could get his dog to salivate at the sound of a bell if
If he placed a steak on the floor.
if he placed a shirt on the floor.
No! If he placed a steak on the floor when the bell rang.
No, I mean if he placed a steak on the floor when the bell rang. A steak on the floor when the bell rang.
Oh no!
Oh my god, this guy is completely hopeless.
The dog started to salivate when he heard the bell because he knew the steak was coming.
So the dog starts salivating because he knows a nice juicy steak is coming. Now, every time the bell rings, the dog knows it's chow time. You see, Associate Dean Savage, I've just proven how classical conditioning works. And that is why you can't give us a test on Thursday. Now, did I pass the test? Or did I pass the test?
Impressive. Since you're such a scholar on this topic, the test on Thursday will be a breeze.
Now I'll have no free time to study for my bio exam.
I thought the son of a distinguished professor would be smarter than that. You crazy wise guy, how could you?
Chris, if you need a study partner, don't come knocking on my door.
Answered the question correctly. I passed the test, remember?
Passed my test by proving you paid attention. Now you can easily pass the test on Thursday.
Hey, I am anything but selfish. I'm dedicated to the things that are important in my life. So don't you come crying back to me once you realize that you're wrong.
Chris, something the matter?
Who, me? No, I'm fine. I just had a little argument with MAIRI-LEE, that's all. I keep telling her not to feel guilty about the group. But you know these women, right? They gotta learn to live and learn, right?
MAIRI-LEE made you look stupid about the whole AmeriCorps idea, didn't she?
Is it that obvious?
Yeah, it is, but look, Chris, don't worry about it, okay? MAIRI-LEE cannot make all the decisions for the group. Believe me, we'll get some good ideas passed through, alright? As long as I'm class president.
Thanks for pulling me out of that jam in psych class the other day.
Ah, no sweat. Actually, it was pretty impressive the way you handled yourself against Associate Dean Savage the other day.
Yeah, well, it's too bad we all got the bum rap of that test on Thursday. I feel so bad about that.
Ah, Chris, look, don't worry about that, okay? I mean, from what I understand, Associate Dean Savage's tests are a cinch. I mean, yeah, he seems intimidating, but that's all a part of an act, okay? Alright? I gotta go to football practice, okay? But I'll talk to you later.
Hey, David, you wouldn't want to...
What?
No, you're probably too busy, you know, with football practice and the Wellness Education Center. I couldn't ask you to do that. I'll see you later.
Chris, do you need help studying?
Well, now that you're mentioning it, it might be useful to both of us if we did a little cramming together. Let me look at my schedule and see if I have any free time at all. My schedule's pretty flexible tomorrow. What do you say, 4:30 sound good? Okay, hotshot. Name 2 methods that experimenters use to monitor someone's behavior.
That's easy. Naturalistic observation and surveys.
You know this stuff. You don't have supernatural intelligence, do you?
No, I just do what I have to do to get by.
Getting by? I was getting by at 7-Eleven for $3.50 an hour.
Chris, I'm captain of the football team, part of the Wellness Education Center, and I'm head of the Student Senate. I don't have time to be bothered by a stupid test.
Man, I can barely balance my own checkbook, never mind learning Pislov's theories of classical conditioning.
That's Pavlov, Chris. When there's too much pressure, you need to learn to cut corners.
Look, the only corners I'll be cutting is with a lawnmower after my dad hires me as his own personal landscaper. Say, for the rest of my life.
No, you got it all wrong, Chris. You don't need to spend hours memorizing textbook theories.
The closest I ever got to studying psychology was when I read how Metallica's Ride the Lightning affected young viewers.
Chris, can we get serious now? When life gives you too much pressure, you gotta learn to take these way out.
in real trouble for this. What if Associate Dean Savage finds out you have a copy of those tests?
What's the big deal? You want to pass the test, right? I mean, you said so yourself. You can't memorize all those textbook theories.
Yeah, but do you really want to sacrifice everything you have by cheating? You could get expelled for this.
Since when did you become such an advocate for studying? I mean, a couple of days ago you seemed to be perfectly happy with the help I gave you in class. You know, you are never going to pass without my help.
Look, you don't understand.
No, maybe you don't understand, Chris. I got football scouts everywhere. And since Clarksdale doesn't give that special treatment to athletes anymore, I actually have to work for my grade. Do you know what that means? That if I lose the scholarship, the scouts lose interest. And I'm not going to let that happen. Listen, I'm going to go get some more practicing. So, you're more than welcome to stay here and study if you want. Just remember to leave a copy of the first test for me on the desk, okay? See you later.
Thompson's room tomorrow. That's room 211.
Right.
No, he said left. Are you listening to anything?
The computerized program incorporating the song Teach Your Children with Candy Devils and Fruit Angels isn't going to help some fat kids start eating right.
Okay. What would you do?
Look, AmeriCorps isn't a priority right now, okay?
It's
not a priority, it's not so low. You try.
What do you mean you're not interested?
I'm not interested right now. I have nothing to. You've been working.
Okay, time out. Alex is in charge for 10 minutes and you can't stay focused, Chris? What's going on?
Look, I already said this has nothing to do with the group. I went over to David's and I found that he had 6 copies of Associate Dean Savage's psych tests.
Oh my god! You didn't take any of those copies. Did you?
Okay, but I only did it because I knew he wouldn't let me stop him.
You could have said no when he offered.
I know, I should have. It's just that David won't listen to me. And I sort of thought that, So,
you figured I would talk to David.
Oh, Dad, you will. You're the best!
Chris, I never said that I would talk
You're
to
willing to help out David. Do you ever stop helping people? A guidance counselor, a proud scholar, a devoted father!
Chris! Nice try.
Look, Alex, I'm sorry, but David will only listen to academic scholars. He's not going to listen to some flunky like me.
Look, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. He may listen to me, but you know much more than I do what it's like to jeopardize important things. Isn't that what you said when you went to those AA meetings? It's not until we lose everything that we appreciate the important things. I've got to get into my history class.
He's right. I'm late for a curriculum committee meeting. I've got to go.
Aw, Stu, man, why do you keep dancing away from Dolphins running back? Chris, can you believe this guy? He's a second-string quarterback and he doesn't even know half the plays.
Can we talk for a minute?
Sure.
I put the answer keys back in Associate Dean Savage's desk.
Man, I did you a favor.
I know, and I appreciate the offer, but it's not going to make things easier for either of us.
Look, Chris, I don't need you of all people playing counselor with me. You don't get it. I'm a potential NFL draft pick. I mean, it's different for you. You get to joke around in class, mess around. Your life and your future doesn't depend on whether you pass psychology, not mine does. I mean, you don't have something in your life that you love like I love football, okay? If you did, then you'd realize there are some things in life that are worth taking a shortcut for. But you...
No, I do understand, David. I know what it's like to lose important things. You know why I'm here, David? I'm here because my father decided to give me a second chance. That is after I spent the last 2 years getting loaded and playing guitar in filthy clubs. I've hurt a lot of people, David. Myself, my dad, MAIRI-LEE, people who were looking out for me. You know, sometimes I think it's useless to try and fight my old cravings. That it's only a matter of time before my old habits get the better of me. And you're right, David. I'm not sure about the psych major. But I know I don't want to spend the rest of my life working lousy odd jobs. Sure, I can make a sacrifice by cheating, but if I get caught, I lose everything. David, I'm not trying to be a guidance counselor. You have so much to offer. More than I ever will. Do the right thing. Open up your textbook and study. Don't think that success should come so easy. I don't know about you, but I gotta go study.
As you can see, I have my own private cheering section. David, I'd like you to meet Alex. He's the one who's really responsible for giving me that advice.
Thanks, Alex. I want to apologize for being so rough with you in class the other day.
Apology accepted.
Well, I think we've worked up quite an appetite.
Well, there's a Papa John's next to the library.
Hey, I thought we were gonna go study.
Sometimes I'm in pieces, think I'm doing fine. Slow curves up ahead bring me down as I do this grind. Got past behind me, not let rain take its toll. It's all for the best, he tells me as I get a new goal. But these are lessons of life, lessons of life, lessons of life, oh, the lessons of life.